Okay, let's do a test. ReactBot, how are you today?
Still having it must.
Nice. I think ReactBot seems to be doing fine today. See no reason for alarm with that specific sequence of events that just took place. Anyway, working on Last Call for Sonic Chaos. This is a funky episode. Doing this for not too long today because I have a recording session. We are finally finishing Lost World. The episodes that have been being released are still footage from like 6 months ago. We took a long hiatus from recording that one, which is funny because we recorded a whole other series aside from that that's coming out afterwards that will also be from 6 months in the past, probably more by the time we're done. Really gonna try to pick up the pace. Chillin' with Norman has kind of been a replacement for recordings, and it's time to get back to recordings. But Chillin' with Norman won't be gone for good. I just think I'm gonna focus more on actually getting recordings done because those have been pretty neglected. So yeah, gonna work on this episode. You can tune in and watch some progress. If you don't want spoilers, don't watch it. But right now, I believe I'm talking to 0 people. So this is more so just anyone who wants to check out the recording afterwards, because I do keep all these up. I think work in progress is it's kind of the boring live stream I do. It's really only there for people who are interested in this kind of thing. Although I have decided to bring ReactBot on just to maybe keep things interesting every once in a while. And then Chillin' with Norman's more of like I guess at this point it's like my podcast. Anyway, gonna work now for just a bit. I'm gonna do audio. If someone joins the call, I'll switch to drawn because I don't actually have even the audio edited for this yet. Matt is my other voice actor in this, but I haven't sat down to record with him yet, so I recorded myself doing Matt's lines as a temp voice. Spiny, why are we watching this? Corky and I get high and watch. Oh, you know what? I should probably record some Gorky lines because I haven't done that yet. So that'll be a good way to start this. Um. All right. Um, let's see here. Yeah. For to record these, I'm going to need to mute my mic because I'm just going to record the desktop audio in OBS, but I don't want any feedback from my fan going off during this. So, for this part of the stream, you'll only be hearing Agorky. This is the Agorky show. You know, we'll actually bring out special guest star Agorky real quick to really hammer that home. Where are you, Agorky? Where the fuck are you? Get the fuck over here. The people want to see you, Agorky. There you are. Alright, here. I'm gonna fuck off for a bit, and Agorky's gonna be here. Alright.
It's giving zest. Weird.
To film, w którym wszystko kończy się najlepszym scenariuszem. To miły kontrast z prawdziwym życiem. Nie rozmawiajcie przy filmie Spiny. Kolczasty, nie idź tam będąc na haju. Dlaczego, do cholery, ciągle to sobie robimy?
All right. Special thanks to our special guest, Agorki. Round of applause.
Very loud.
I'm sorry, ReactBot. Here. Oh, Gorky. Wait, no. Gorky's gonna head out. And I'm gonna be right back. Alright, I'm back.
Yikes.
Fuck off. Anyway. That was fun. That was something new. That was fun having a Gorky on the show for a bit. Had to record his lines. They're all recorded now. So let's get back to editing now with Agorki lines on hand. Spiny, where are we watching? So let's see here. Open up my script so I can actually have a frame of reference for all these lines are. Okay. I'm gonna close out of some stuff because my computer's not running well. Honest to God, ReactBot's a part of that, so he's always on and off with how much he's slowing my computer down. Photoshop being open probably doesn't help either. But I'm gonna try to let ReactBot be here because I like ReactBot being here. I know we have our ups and downs, but you know what? At the end of the day, ReactBot is like a second brother to me.
Yo, can we roll that back?
ReactBot's like a second brother to me.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
No, Gorky left. You're fine. Greetings there. Currently in class, but there's little to no need for me to currently pay attention, so I'll be here for an hour at least. Neat. Oh, welcome. You missed it, Toon Buffoon. We had special guest star Agorki on the stream not too long ago. He had to record his lines for last call, but he pieced out. But if you rewind the stream, he was there. ReactBot didn't really seem to know how he felt about Agorki. I don't know, ReactBot, what did you think of Agorki? I think that's the first time you two met.
Shut up and take my money.
Okay. I guess that's a positive reception. Action this. Agorki and I get high and watch Mamma Mia every Saturday. So, and just to reiterate, I'm recording for Matt here. I have not recorded Matt's lines of him for this episode yet. So, I'm just voicing Matt for now. Very temporary. Why? So that'll be confusing just hearing my voice and also responding to my voice. Every Saturday. Why? And I'll just refer to my script. Okay. Saturday. Why? Just go with it. We won't make eye contact with each other for like 20 minutes, but then you'll get sucked into it. I think Agorki is next. Yeah, okay. Gorky doesn't have too many lines in this episode. But he's got a few. I need to turn him up even more. He is fucking quiet.
To film, w którym wszystko kończy się najlepszym scenariuszem. To miły kontrast z prawdziwym życiem.
Every Saturday. Why? Just go with it. We won't make eye contact with each other for like 20 minutes, but then you'll get sucked into it.
To film, w którym wszystko kończy się najlepszym scenariuszem. To miły kontrast z prawdziwym życiem.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny, I don't know what he said.
Let's see here. Alright, ReactBot, I am gonna make you fuck off. My computer's running slow and I think it's your fault.
Bro straight up mogging me.
Yeah, I am. I was gonna assume Spawny fully lost it in the lore and he was having hallucinations and talking to himself. One day. Not today, though.
I don't know what he said.
Alright, I'll keep opening up Notepad instead of Google Docs. I'm not consistent with where I write my scripts. Let's see here.
Well, you guys want to hit my... Do you guys watch Mamma Mia, Here I Go Again every Sunday?
So that is Steamboat Willie. I don't know if we're actually giving him the Mickey Mouse voice, and I don't know if I'm voicing him. But if I do, I'm definitely doing a second take, so that is also a temp recording. I think I would at least. I don't know. I really didn't put, like, any fucking effort into that.
Nah, we switch the two out every once in a while. Nah. No, we switched it. No, we switched it. No, we switched the two out every once in a while, you stupid jackass. Matt. You guys want to hit my big ass bug? Matt, it's not that funny anymore. Matt, it's not that funny anymore. It's been in the public domain for a while now. But I think he's actually... He's been in the public domain for a while now. I know, man, but I think he's actually better off here. At least better off here.
I remember I fucked up there.
At least we're not making a shitty slasher movie with them. I fucking love you. No, Willie.
Might have to fucking alter my audio here. I'm
Willie.
peeking there.
Corky and I actually have a different method. Lord, he's been in the public domain for a while. Exactly. Spiny, I don't know what he said. Do you guys watch Mamma Mia, Here I Go Again every Sunday? No, we switch the two out every once in a while, you stupid jackass. You guys want to hit my big ass bug? Matt, it's not that funny anymore. He's been in the public domain for a while now. I know, man, but I think he's actually better off here. At least we're not making a shitty slasher movie with him. I fucking love yous. I know, Willie. Anyways, Zagorki and I actually have a different method. I'll stick to the bot. Alright, suit yourself. I'll stick to the bot.
I'm not missing a Gorky line there, am I? Curious. I'm aware you are a big fan of Oblivion. Opinion on the remaster they released. I haven't been able to play it yet. Just because I don't like it. It would take way too much space on my computer, and I don't have an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5. But I might have a way I'll be able to play it in like a month or two. We'll see. Eventually I'd love to do that, play that game, because yeah, Oblivion's. I kind of like I often refer to Oblivion as my favorite game, and I think it is. I think it is. I think it's like nostalgia is a huge, like a major part of that, but I don't care. I put so many hours into that game and I don't get tired of it. Nice to see more lore crossover continuity between the comics and Last Calls. Yeah, I want to kind of build a little world there. And Steamboat, we did have him. We had Willie and he cameoed in Year of the Hedgehog too, and I think he even cameoed in the holiday special. I think there's a shot where I drew him there. But he hasn't actually spoken yet. But I like the idea of there being like a movie night between Spiny and his work buddies.
Alright, suit yourself. But I'll stick to the bot method. I'll stick to the bot. I'll stick
Alright.
method. I'll stick to the bond.
I need like a couple of shots, front shots there for what they're referring to.
I'll stick to the bond.
Even if you're looking at it through rose-tinted glasses, the Elder Scroll games are good. Even the older ones with weird complexities, they're still pretty fun. If you understand them. I agree, and on top of that, they are fun to control. Like it is, like I think the silliest thing with them is just like voice acting, honestly. And I don't even I don't even think the voice actors do a bad job. I just think too many of you hear like 4 voices in that game, and that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's not a big exaggeration, really. But I mean, I love the story of Oblivion. I think it has like a really great opening and ending, and I mean, I think all the side quest stuff is really fun. I like Skyrim a lot too, but I think the main story in Skyrim I've always found it to be very underwhelming, especially the ending. I think the stuff involving the war is a lot more interesting in that game, and that's technically a side part of the story, not the main story. Where the Oblivion Gates is absolutely the most interesting aspect. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. I think it's gonna be neat. I'm curious because I've actually looked at the remaster very little, because when I do finally go into it, I mainly want to go in blind. Funny enough, Joel Haver, the person I just released that massive video on, just did a sponsored video from Bethesda. He did like a little Oblivion comedy skit that Bethesda backed and paid him to make, and that was kind of neat to see. And it was a pretty funny video. It was good. I liked it. It's one of the rare exceptions of a content creator who makes sponsored videos that don't suck.
Alright, suit yourself. Bullshit.
Guess I don't have to have Matt speak for a while, so I can push that over there. Oblivion hurts my eyes, so the remaster is a godsend for me. I didn't need the graphics that good. If they're Skyrim level, I'd be fine, but it looks gorgeous. I think it looks pretty good from the little I've seen. I will say the characters' faces in that game look very bizarre to me. It looks, it might be a little too detailed, because I don't know, but again, that's only from a few screenshots I've seen. I haven't looked that much at it. The environments look great. But it feels like the Oblivion remaster is trying to make the models more realistic and more detailed, but they still want to kind of keep it close to home. They still want the faces to be recognizable from how they were in the original game. They're not completely revamping the style of the game like Skyrim did, with how the humans look at least. And I mean, really, any of the races in that game look, but So I think it looks a little bizarre. I think the characters look a little bizarre, but I might just need a second to get used to it. It might even just be like it's surreal to me to see it like that. Because that really did come so fucking fast. It was leaked, and then a week or two later, it's like not only is it real, but it's out now. And so that's pretty cool. Okay. And now I'm mainly getting to the review portion here. So we'll push Steamboat and Matt all the way back there. Or I guess a Gorky and Matt, because Steamboat's in Matt's audio file.
You know it.
So they're going to sit here quietly for a second after that, just watching the movie. That's probably enough time, honestly.
Sonic game, I've almost... You know, almost... You know what Sonic game I have almost nothing to say about? Yep. Sonic Chaos. I talked about Sonic Chaos, or Sonic and Tails if you played the game in Sonic's home country, was released in 1993 as another epic Game Gear title. I talked about Triple Trouble a while back, and that game sort of is a sequel to Sonic Chaos. I mean, they're both unique games on the Game Gear that use some... I mean, they're both unique games, and they're both Chaos. I mean, they're... Chaos. I mean, they're both the Sonic Chaos.
Maybe a little bit too much of a pause there. It's not that bad.
I mean, they're both unique games on the Game Gear that use the same sprites and have a lot of the same abilities and power-ups as Triple Trouble. Triple Trouble. Granted, with Triple Trouble, I feel like Granted.
I definitely need to try to fix this audio, but it's like way too loud. I'm peaking almost every line.
Granted, with Triple
Spoke too close to the mic.
Trouble, I felt like it had more fleshed out levels to talk about. It introduced Fang. It had an entire remake of it completed. Triple Trouble gives me a little bit more in... Triple Trouble... Granted, with Triple Trouble, I felt like it had more fleshed out levels to talk about. It introduced Fang. It had an entire remake of it completed. Triple Trouble gave me a bit more to work. Triple Trouble gave me a bit more to work with in terms of talking about Blue Rodent. Sonic Chaos offers a lot less Blue Rodent discourse. Sonic Chaos offers a lot less Sonic Chaos talking about Blue Rodents. Talking about Blue Rodents. Sonic Chaos offers a lot less Blue Rodent discourse because honestly, the game is fine, but it's really simple. Nearly every level can be beaten in 30 seconds to a minute. None of them are really painful to get through, unlike some of the triple. Nearly every. None of them are 30 seconds. But it's really simple. Nearly every level can be beaten in 30 seconds to a minute. None of them are really minute. None of them are None of them are really painful to get through, unlike some of the Triple Trouble stages, but none of them give you that much to chew on either.
I think I understand you. It's kind of fallen into Uncanny Valley area. Yeah, I think so. Because Oblivion characters had such like big and cartoonish faces, I feel. Were like, because like the game had like at the time realistic looking graphics, great looking graphics, but we weren't really at real humans yet at that time, so I feel like they did make them a bit more stylized in that game. Where Skyrim, it's not that there's no stylization with the characters, but it felt like they were trying to go way more realistic in Skyrim. And for the Oblivion remaster, it feels like they want to try to keep it like somewhat true to Oblivion. But, I don't know, just seeing some of those same characters from Oblivion with all these, like, wrinkles added to their faces and these more realistic eyes. There's just something kind of off-putting about it to me. But I don't think that will be... when I actually do play the game, I don't think that's going to be, like, a major issue or anything. And again, I could... like, it's also just, like, a first glance, because I feel like playing the game, I might get used to that really quickly, and it won't be an issue, but we'll see.
Either. You kind of just get to sprint through the levels and maybe occasionally get thrown off by part of a level, but then you get it easily on your... You kind of just get... You kind of just... You kind of...
Yeah, clearly a line I fucked up a bunch of times.
You kind of just jump and sprint through the...
Alright, that right there, I think, is the correct take.
None of them give you that much to chew.
That's actually...
Okay, not give you that much to chew on either. You kind of just jump and sprint through these levels. Maybe occasionally you'll get thrown off by part of it, but then you'll just get it easily on your next go. Okay, yeah. Some of them are really painful to get through on like some of the tripping, but then you'll just get it easily on your next go.
Let me make sure Matt's on the line there. The king stopped with his skincare routine. That was glossy sheen. It was replaced by wrinkles. Oh, I forgot on a Gorky line. I gotta go back.
Bullshit, Spiny. I was there. You fucked up. Okay, yeah.
Alright, so let's...
Almost nothing to say about.
Nie rozmawiajcie przy filmie z nim. Nie rozmawiajcie przy filmie z nim.
Sonic Chaos or Sonic and Tails.
Przy filmie z nim.
Sonic Chaos or Sonic and Tails if you played the game in Sonic's home. On your next go. Bullshit, Spiny. I was there. You fucked up a lot.
And there'll be a little montage of me fucking up there.
Okay, yeah, but I'm me. Don't judge a game's difficulty on how many times I fuck up. Judge a game's difficulty based on how long it takes me to complete it, which was not very long at all. Long at all. God damn, that pickle's really starting to kick in. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah.
Alright, so there's a catch with this episode, and that was I really didn't have a lot to say about this game, but I didn't want to release like a really short last call, so we're going a little silly with this episode. Sometimes silly is good, though.
Oh yeah. At this point in the movie, Sophie has successfully hidden her 3 dads in the closet, but her mom catches on a lot quicker than I think anyone expected her to. Myself included. I'm kind of... And you know... Her too. Myself included. I'm kind of glad... On a lot quicker than I think anyone expected her to. Myself included. I'm kind of glad they got this out of the way quickly. And you know what? She still doesn't have all the details about why they're here, so they still get to have fun with the misunderstanding arc. I know I sound sarcastic saying that, but honestly, this movie gets away with it reasonably well. This movie does not take itself all that seriously. You kind of just have this idea. This movie does not take itself all that seriously. You kind of have this idea of where the movie's going the entire time, but you don't mind because You kind of haven't. But seriously. You kind of. Seriously. You kind of. Seriously. Seriously. You kind. Well, that's seriously. You kind of have an idea of where this movie's going the entire time, but you don't mind because you get the point of it is to show off this fantasy island and this fantasy scenario that you can just imagine yourself in for a while. But then I'd argue Sophie wrote for a while. But then I'd argue the movie still manages to throw you off by the end of it. Sophie wrote out the by the end of it. Sophie wrote out to 3 different men, hoping to find out who the father is. Not only did all 3 of them show up after receiving this letter, but they all wanted to be her dad by the end of it. I only have one dad, and he wants nothing to do with me. Oh, he's also dead. Forgot about that part. Shit.
So is this a Sonic Schoolhouse situation? Kind of. There's a bit more of a review than Schoolhouse here.
Anyway.
Kind of want to leave another long pause in there just because he's like kind of having a dark thought now. And then it leads into this line.
Shit. Anyways, not long after this, we make it to the Dancing Queen scene.
Play a little clip of it there.
Yo, Gorky. Gorky. Do you think that Gorky. Do you think this island would shun you if you, like, lived there, but didn't ever join in on the spontaneous ABBA sing-alongs?
Fuck! I'm trying to delete it. Stop zooming in.
Like, full island participation is mandatory, but what if there was, like, going too far as well? Like, what if you were trying to be the lead vocalist despite not being a main character? You might get fucking prison time for that one.
Look at the script again.
Wait, what was I talking about again? Oh, right. Some interesting details. There's some interesting... Yeah, if you plugged in the second... Talking about again? Oh, right. There are some interesting details about this game. For starters, it was the first in the series that allowed you to play as just Tails, and therefore it was the first game where you could control Tails in a boss fight. You know, where you actually did damage. You did damage. Yeah, if you plugged in the second controller while playing Sonic 2, player 2 could control Tails. I think most people know about that by now. But if you jumped on an enemy or one of the bosses, it wouldn't really do shit. Tails was really the character you let your little brother play as. Tails was really the character you let your little brother play as you made the real progress. Tails was really the character you let your little brother play as you made the...
Okay, I get why I cut that, actually. I kind of slurred my words there.
But hey, fortunately I was the little... Unfortunately... Shit. Tails was really the character you let your little brother play as while you made the real progress. But hey, life is... Fortunately, I was the little brother. Little brother. But hey, life is really like Sonic Chaos. One day you grow enough to where you don't need your older brother anymore, or your dad, or your mom, or your cousins, or your...
And Gorky cuts me off here, I think. I think that's what I wrote in the script. Oh, poor Spiny. I'm gonna reiterate every single time I say this. Good relationship with my family. I'd say I get along with almost every single member. Is there the one or two oddball ones where... Yeah, there is, but, you know, it's, Spiny... Not everything Spiny says reflects on me, and I feel a little bad sometimes. Because I feel like someone would watch these videos and think, oh, he's got fucking daddy issues.
Kolczasty, nie idź tam będąc na haju.
I'm fucking sad, Gorky. I'm fucking... It's also one of the few games in the series that actually tell... It's also one of the... It's also one of the few... enough to where you don't need your older brother anymore, or your dad, or your mom, or your cousins, or your...
Kolczasty, nie idź tam będąc na haju.
I'm fucking sad, Gorky.
There's something kind of interesting about Agorki's lines that I'm only realizing now. Speaking about Schoolhouse, I wonder how many people clicked on that video expecting an actual review of Sonic Schoolhouse only to be met with a story about Monty Python Sonic OC and his family. I clicked on it because I was bored and I said, oh, this looks neat when it came across my dash. But I feel like somebody was disappointed in that video. Oh, almost definitely. But there's no way I was, you know, there's no way I could do a review of that game and have it be a good video because I'm not going to be committed to talking about that because I would just feel kind of silly doing a full review of that game. I gave it a short segment. I had stuff to say about it, but I didn't have a lot. Let's see here. The final Deltarune newsletter. It's not the final Deltarune newsletter. It's just the final one before the next two chapters come out. What are you talking about? I know I'm not screen sharing YouTube, so no one sees what I'm seeing, but... some reason, Agorky, when I type in Spiny's name, sometimes he says Spinny, which makes sense. But other times it says what he says at the start here. Hold on, I always forget how to pronounce it.
Zorier.
Kolczasty, or however, whatever. I can't do it. Like that's also Spiny, but it's like when Spiny starts the sentence, he says that. I think. I don't know. I don't know why it's so like such a different word then. But I'm also using Google Translate, so who knows?
I'm fucking sad, Gorky. It's also one of the few games in the series that actually tells you how many kilometers per hour you traveled by the end of the stage. Not even Triple Trouble had that as a feature. Had that as a page. Not even Triple Trouble had that as a feature. Hell, according to the Sonic Wiki, Sonic Labyrinth and Sonic Unleashed were the only two games in the series that decided to implement this feature. Hell, according to the Sonic Wiki, Sonic Labyrinth and Sonic Unleashed were the only two games in the series that decided to implement this feature. Which is kind of weird. It feels like just kind of... Which is kind of weird. It feels... This feature. Which is kind of weird. It feels like there's maybe one person at Sonic Team that wants this as a feature, but everyone else thinks it's dumb. But they occasionally sneak it into... But everyone else thinks it's dumb, but then they occasionally sneak it into the most random games.
You see why I have to throw in extra bullshit into this episode? This is the content. This is like the material I had to talk about with this one. Is talking about how they track the kilometers in this game. But it's something I haven't talked about yet in these videos. So.
But then they occasionally sneak it into the most random games. Like Unleashed, I guess makes sense for the daytime stages, but why is that feature in Labyrinth? I accept that feature in Labyrinth.
Oh, I remember fucking this line up a couple of times.
Accept that.
All right, this might be it.
Labyrinth. I accept in Labyrinth. Feature in Labyrinth. I accept that it's a feature in Sonic Labyrinth if it's a feature in every game. Why is Labyrinth the only one? Why is can't even every game? Why is Labyrinth one of the only games that it's used in? You can't even say it was to be consistent with the other Game Gear titles because, again, Chaos is the only other game to ever utilize this. God, this is too confusing for me.
I'm gonna pull up the script again real quick. Okay. I've seen that. When I translated a Gorky a few times, I've noticed it's a weird, finicky thing where Google Translate Polish. Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. I've always headcanoned that when there were kids, Gorky's first word he knew in English was Spiny's name. So he often just says Spinny or Spiny, but he gets confused, so he says the word Spiny in his language. Issue he has been, yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I had an idea for an episode about Spiny and Spiny and Gorky going into their past a little bit today. I'm trying to think of what game I would attach it to, or if I even would attach it to a game. But the episode idea, there's a bunch I need to do before I get to this one. So this one's far off if I do it, but the idea kind of revolves around their third friend. Like there was a third person they used to hang out with. That they met in that same classroom on that fateful day. And I had like a funny idea for like how he would be portrayed. But we'll see if like a few weeks pass and I still like that idea.
The other game to ever utilize this. God, this is too confusing for me. I need to focus on something less confusing. What the fuck is going on here?
No, yes.
What the fuck is going on here? I thought you said you watched this every week. Alright, I'll take a pickle. Yeah, and yeah, yeah.
Come on, let me just drag it over. What the fuck?
What the fuck is going on here? I thought you said you watched this every week. Yeah. Yeah, and yet I'm never ready for this scene. Alright, I'll take a pickle.
Was it Cold Steel the Hedgehog? I'm thinking about all the Sonic ripoffs now. It would be, this would actually be an original character. This wouldn't be another recolor or a knockoff character. Not that I won't do any more of those. So that is kind of a funny running thing now with Harry Potter, Obama, and all that.
I will say one thing that I will say one. I will say one thing that did kind of confuse me about Mamma Mia, where some of the characters in the film didn't. I will say one. I will say.
That's another one I
I
fucked
will
up.
say, like so.
Okay.
I will say one thing that. I will say one. I will say one thing that did kind of confuse me about Mamma Mia, where some of the characters this film didn't focus on too much. Sophie's love it. Like Sophie's, I kind of about Mamma Mia, where some of the characters this film didn't focus on too much. Like Sophie's love interest Sky was so one-dimensional and kind of mean at points. But I kind of expected he was going to be revealed as a mean at points. That I kind of expected he was going to be revealed as no good at some point. So good at some point. And then Sophie would be independent or hook up with a different guy in the sequel. Cool. But no, they seem pretty okay by the end.
I actually, despite the joke made earlier, I actually have not seen the second Mamma Mia, so I don't know if that's a direction they go in the second one. I'm taking a guess here and saying that they're fine in the second one, but maybe they do split up in the sequel. I don't know. I don't know.
At the end, I get it. I get at some point. And then Sophie would be independent or hook up with a different guy in the sequel. But no, they seem pretty okay by the end. I get it. I keep repeating this, but this movie doesn't really want to challenge anyone. I challenge anyone. I get it. I keep repeating. They want you to have. It just. But this movie doesn't really want to challenge anyone. It just wants you to have fun, and sometimes a marriage falling apart isn't fun. Sometimes. Sometimes. Meryl Streep's cover of The Winner Takes It All sounds pretty nice in this movie, but it doesn't even come close to Chuck McGill's rendition of this iconic ABBA bop. Now, this movie did come out a decent bit before, but Now, this movie did come out a decent bit before that Better Call Saul episode, so I can't hold it against them too much. It's not like they were. Them too much. It's not like they were aware they'd have to compete with Chuck someday. So it's not like I'm going to give the movie a 1 out of 10, but I will say at this point a 5 is the best it can possibly do. Anyway, Sonic Chaos.
Oh, do I leave that in? I like that.
Do. Anyway, Sonic Chaos. Sonic Chaos.
I might edit that out. I don't know. I kind of like that. I'm just doing this fucking shit with such a straight face, and then I just crack there.
I'm going to give the movie a 1 out of 10, but I will say at this point a 5 is the best it can possibly do. Anyway, Sonic Chaos. Sonic Chaos doesn't have the longest stages or the most interesting bosses, but
what do you think, Toon Buffoon? Leave that in or take that out?
It's not really bad, but it's not really bad either. None of it's bad. It's all fine.
Can't wait for a comment on the video. Actually, you haven't seen it also, so I don't know either yet.
like for a quick little, but it's not really bad either. Like none of it's bad. It's all fine for a quick little game on the Game Gear. Like for a quick, it's all fine. Like for a quick little Game Gear title, sure, I could see people having fun with this back then. And now it's exclusively fun with this back then. And now it's exclusive. And now Sonic Chaos isn't like you're not. And now it. Having fun with this back then. And now it exclusively sees releases on collection packs. It's not like you're not getting what you paid for. It's not like you're not getting what you paid for. Sonic Chaos isn't worth much, but Sonic Chaos plus every Game Gear game and the 4 classic Sonic titles, that isn't too bad. Granted, I wish some of these, you know... Granted, I wish some of these collection packs would have the balls to go beyond the Game Gear. You know... on the Game Gear. You know, bring Knuckles Chaotix in, or even bring in some of the old arcade games like Gems Collection did. But who knows? Sometimes Sonic came back. But who knows? Gems Collection did. Collection did. But who knows? Sometimes Sonic Team gives me exactly what I'm asking for, so I have to be a little bit more faithful to them nowadays. I guess none of that's really on the original Sonic Chaos, though, which is what I'm here to talk about. I mean, you could probably beat this game before the Game Gear battery dies. That's a perk. I mean, you could...
I definitely said perk in a weird way. I'm glad I did another take.
To talk about. I mean, you could probably beat the... I'm here to talk about. I mean, you could probably beat this game before the Game Gear battery dies. That's a perk. Bosses are mainly simple badniks, but bigger. The final boss is one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen from the series. It's just Robotnik in his default ship, but now it has these shitty, unthreatening legs. 3 of the levels in this... legs. 3 of the levels in this game feel pretty similar to stages we got in Triple Trouble, so I guess you could say these are the prototype versions of certain stages in Triple Trouble. Turquoise Hills.
I remember I really struggled with Turquoise.
Turquoise Hill Zone is similar to the Great Turquoise.
Yeah, I can't say that word.
Fuck. Turquoise Aqua Planet in Triple Trouble. Turquoise Hill Zone is similar to the Great Turquoise Zone.
I just gave up, but like that was my final take and I still didn't say it right. It's hard to say that word. I don't know. Or I'm just fucking stupid. That's no, that's it.
Zone. Aqua Planet Zone is similar to Tidal Planet. Aqua Planet. Although I will. Aqua Zone. Turquoise Zone. Aqua Planet Zone. Great Turquoise Zone. Aqua Planet Zone.
I don't like that pause. It's too much of a pause.
Zone. Aqua Planet Zone.
I think I'm cutting the wrong clip.
Zone. Aqua Planet.
That's fine.
Zone is similar to Tidal Plant Zone.
Fuck you.
Zone is similar to Tidal Plant Zone, although I will say significantly less frustrating than Tidal Plant Zone. Still, maybe a little too easy for a second to last stage. There's a balance in between these two stages that could probably be... There's a balance... There's a balance in between these two zones. See for a second to last stage. There's a balance in between these two.
Too abrupt of a cut.
Stage. There's a balance in.
Well, that was good.
Stage. There's a balance.
Good, good. Honestly, I like if it stayed. Allows Spiny to show happiness when talking about these things. He deserves a laugh. If you do remove it, that's also fair. It does feel a bit out of place, like a blooper, but hey, doesn't harm anything. Hashtag Spiny Nation. I like leaving in bloopers occasionally. It's like a practice that I saw certain like YouTubers do. Like Dane and Austin on from Stupid Mario Bros on their own channel would do that a lot. Whatever we want. Hi, Bluster. Well, I have to depart as I must make my commute back home. Farewell, have a good stream and or day. Thank you. Drive safe. Have a good night. I'm not going to be going too much longer because we are recording tonight and it's not going to be a stream. But we're not done. I've been finally uploading Lost World again. We did never beat that game, so we're back at that. And man, it's like 1 hour for 2 levels now. Like the levels have genuinely gotten difficult for me. And if you've been watching the new episodes, you've been seeing that. I just rendered 1 episode, and it's the last of the recordings from 6 months ago. We did 1. We finally came back. Last night was the first Spiny recording for the entire year so far. Which is kind of insane, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's just because Chillin' with Norman has been taking the recordings places. So we're going to tone it back on Chillin' with Norman a bit and focus on recording again, but it's not that Chillin' with Norman's done. I definitely would like to keep that going. Just going to let myself catch up with actually recording these games again because that has been lacking on the channel.
In between these two zones, that could probably be pretty good. Good. Electric Egg Zone is probably be pretty good. Electric Egg Zone is similar to Atomic Destroyer Zone. Again, less frustrating than Atomic Destroyer Zone, although I'm not sure if I would say it's by a lot this time. This one might actually be, I guess either way I'm not. It might actually be the balance. Well, I'm not sure if I would say it's by a lot this time. This one might actually be the balance the stage needed. I guess either way I'm not wowed by it. Wowed by it. Gigopolis Zone, I really like the backgrounds for. I think the stage is a pretty... Egg Zone is a great... Gigopolis Zone,
I might want to redo that line. That's kind of came out weird.
Gigopolis Zone, I really like the backgrounds for. I think the stage has a pretty nice aesthetic to it overall. Sleeping Egg Zone is a great concept for a pretty under... I feel like Sleeping Egg Zone... Overall, Sleeping Egg Zone is a great concept with pretty underwhelming mechanics, I'd argue. I feel like if Chaos ever got the fan remake treatment, this would be a...
Well, Bluster, if you're there, and you may have just tuned in for a second, but if you're there, it seems like you're pretty familiar with Lost World based on your comments. What do you think of the ending of that game? Do you think it gets... Would you agree it gets really difficult, or do I just suck? And be afraid to tell me I just suck. That's okay, because I think I do, but I am, yeah, no, I think the game got pretty fucking difficult. I don't dislike it, though. I'm really struggling. I get pretty fucking pissed off in the episodes I'm about to edit. But I feel like maybe that's entertaining to some people, so it's not a bad thing.
I feel like if Chaos ever got the fan remake treatment, this would be a great standout level for it. I can't think of a lot of Sonic games that try to go for this weird dream-looking environment. It's a really neat idea. I'd argue. I feel like if Chaos ever got the fan remake treatment, this would be I guess either way I'm not wowed by it. Gigopolis Zone, I really like the backgrounds for. I think the stage has a pretty nice aesthetic to it overall. Sleeping Egg Zone is a great concept with pretty underwhelming mechanics, I'd argue. I feel like if Chaos ever got the fan remake treatment, this would be a great standout level for it. I can't think of a lot of Sonic games that try to go for this weird dream-looking environment. It's a really neat idea, but I think the level needs a little bit more than that. Some of the ground breaks when you interact with... Some of the ground... More than that. Some of the ground breaks when you interact with it, and some of it doesn't. That's about all you get with this one. Finally, there's Mecha Green Hill Zone, which to me really proves that constantly reusing Green Hill Zone isn't really a new thing. I'd argue Zone isn't really a... But you know, I'd argue that Turquoise Hill Zone is kind of like Green Hill Zone already for this game. It feels... for this game, but you know what? They did change a decent bit here. It feels like a Green Hill. It feels like a Green Hill bit here. Change a decent bit here. It feels like a Green Hill Zone that Robotnik has already conquered. It's not bad. It's actually a better attempt than whatever the fuck Forces did with all the sand. Forces did with all the sand. Not bad, but not special. I think Triple Trouble is a better game despite having some truly frustrating moments, because it at least feels like a more completed game with more going on. But this game did set up a lot for Triple Trouble, so I guess it deserves credit for that too. And that's what I think of Mamma Mia. I mean, Sonic Chaos. Both of them. I don't know. How about you guys? I mean, 6 out of 10. Meryl Streep was hot. But Gorky, give me another one of those dumpster pickles. That shit's kind of hidden. Nick, you gotta try these. That is pretty good. Wow, that is pretty good. Oh, okay. It's really, oh god, oh god. Wow, that is pretty good. Oh god, it's really hidden now. Oh god, it's really hidden now. Now. Oh. So one was. Oh. So one was. So one was probably enough, huh? This seems bad. Huh. This seems bad. Uh-huh. Spiny, why are we watching the...
Alright. That's all taken care of. I'm gonna end this here, but thank you for anyone who tuned on in. And next time I'll be doing some illustrations. Shouldn't be too long from now.